What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest is Cynthia Calvillo, who fights Jessica Andrade at UFC 266 on September the 25th. So let's welcome Cynthia into the program here today. Cynthia, how you doing? And thank you so much for being here today.
I'm doing great. I'm feeling super excited. We're almost close to fight time.
All right, Cynthia, we'll get right into things here. We'll start with training camp. I know you're about a month away at the time of recording this from Fight Night. Just how are you feeling during camp, just 1 month away from this fight?
I feel really good. I'm really excited to get back in there. It's been I can't say it's super long. It felt long, but I was also very busy. Just recovering from shoulder surgery. So I've been very consistent with that, so I can make my return. Because I feel like if I wasn't very focused on it, it'd probably take me a little bit longer. But we're almost there. We're 100%. We're ready to get to the fight. So I'm stoked.
And I know you were talking about shoulder surgery there. I was just wondering what kind of surgery you had done. I'm actually worried myself about having to have shoulder surgery one day from throwing the shot put in college and that. So I was just wondering exactly what surgery did you have and what was the recovery like as you were healing through that?
Okay, so I had a slap tear, so anterior posterior labrum, a little bit of the rotator cuff, the bicep tendinosis, so they reattached my bicep tendon. I had a bone spur and a little bit of arthritis in there, and a cyst and a capsule shift. So it was just a little bit of wear and tear from like over the years. I've had shoulder issues for about 2 years, but it finally got to the point where I couldn't get through fight camps without it being an issue or needing constant maintenance. So we finally made the decision after getting. I've had PRP, I've had stem cell, and we're like, all right, okay, I guess it's time for surgery, because I didn't want to sit out for that long. Honestly, I thought I was going to have to sit out a lot longer, but the UFC PI and having to work with Heather and the whole team there, they just made it possible for me to return a lot sooner than what I expected. And so I'm really excited about that, because it was a lot of work done on my shoulder.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And now let's get into specifics here with Jessica. Obviously, you've had your eye on her for quite some time. You guys were both former strawweight. She, of course, was a former strawweight champion. So I'm sure you've had your eye set on her for quite a while. But as you've been studying her and preparing for this fight, just what have you seen out of her as an opponent as you've been studying for?
Yeah, she's one of the best in the world, and that's what I see is, she was a former champ. She's a very dangerous fighter. She's got a lot of power, obviously. She's knocked out a lot of people. She's subbed a lot of people, but she's also had her fair, share of losses as well. But, she's a veteran of sport. She's somebody that I looked up to, just when I first started to fight. So being able to fight, all these women that I once seen that I looked up to, it feels amazing. But, I got to go in there and be really smart approaching this fight, because, as we know, she's got very heavy hands. But with a lot of power also comes getting tired a lot faster, So, we're taking into account a lot of what her whole pros are and her cons are. So, yeah, I just think it's going to be a great fight. If I get this win, obviously it's just going to build my legacy, and people are going to, make, get a little bit more respect, and hopefully they see that I'm a true title contender.
So the crazy thing to think of with Jessica is the fact that she's always coming forward, and everybody knows whenever she fights, they know she's going to come forward. She's going to try to close down that distance, land those heavy hands, even get takedowns like you were saying there. The thing is, though, she's just so good at the way she does it. How do you exactly prevent her from coming forward and being effective the way how she always is?
Well, those blitzes only last for so long. So as long as I'm able to have really good footwork, kind of take the approach of being the matador and allowing her to be the bull. So I want to get her tired a lot with my footwork, and make really smart engagements. Obviously, you don't want to get in there and get in a brawl with her. So I want to pick my shots. I want to be smart. I feel like I learned a lot watching Valentina beat Jessica Andrade. Obviously, she showed everybody what the best path to success to beating Jessica Andrade. I feel like she probably, out of anybody that has ever beat Jessica Andrade, that's probably the best way. She went in there and completely dominated every part of it. So I'm hoping that I can do something similar as that. Pick my shots. Able to get her the ground, ground and pound, or find the submission.
So now one thing that's actually crazy to think about when it comes to this fight is actually the fact that you're going to be the taller fighter in this fight. I know that's something that you're not used to doing, so what's like the mindset like with that, knowing that you're going to be the taller fighter on fight night?
Man, definitely a different style that I have to bring in because normally I have to figure out a way to get in there, and this time I get to be the longer fighter. So stylistically is very different, but I'm very excited about that because it's exciting to be able to know that my reach, like if I throw a punch, my punch is gonna land there faster than get there quicker than hers if our reach is um, that much of a difference. But no, I'm really excited. I'm excited. I mean, I did fight Carla Esparza, who's pretty small herself too, but stylistically, I feel like it was still different, and I feel like the distance is going to be different. With Carla, I feel like she stood really far because she was always just going to go for the takedowns, and with like Jessica Andrade, she's kind of more like a Tasmanian devil, and she's just going to come at you. You know what I mean? So. I'm excited. Super excited for this fight.
And Cynthia, I wanted to get your thoughts on if you believe a win over Jessica Andrade gets you a title fight, because we're seeing now with Valentina, like she's at the point where she's just such a dominant of a champion that it's just about time that she's going to be ready to start cycling through her opponents now for a second time. You obviously have never fought her. You are ranked towards the top. Do you think a win kind of puts you in that like fresh new blood type of a category, that it brings new like parity because she's never fought you and it wouldn't be cycling back for a second time? So do you feel like a win guarantees you a title fight here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't think there's that many people also that had already fought her that want to get in there and fight her right away again. I feel like a lot of them like feel like, oh man, she beat me pretty bad. I want to take some time to get better and then give it another shot. I doubt that they're like, shoot, like I didn't feel good that night. I got to fight her. I got to get that fight back as soon as possible. So of course I do see that the possibility of me getting a title shot is like probably really, really good. I'm definitely looking to get a title shot. That's the goal is, I want to be a world champion. But let's say if I don't get the title shot after this fight, I'm okay with that. I think eventually it'll come. I want to just stay busy and I want to keep fighting. I want to keep fighting the best in the world. I would love to fight, Kaylin Chikagan again. I'm really stubborn about that. Like, I just want to fight. Obviously, a lot of us want to avenge our losses. So, if I ever get the opportunity to fight Carla Esparza, I would fight her again too, and I would fight Marina Rodriguez as well too. But she doesn't want to fight me. But it's okay.
All right, now I want to talk about some gym-related things here with you. I know you started your career out, I believe, out at Team Alpha Male in California. I know you're originally from there. You made the move then to AKA. You spent a little bit of time there. Now you're in Las Vegas. I know you were mentioning the PI before and just how great it is, but tell everybody a little bit about that traveling and why exactly you decided to call Las Vegas home now.
I mean, it's great. There's a lot of training partners here. I was able to find a lot of like great coaches that fit in perfectly, and that they're pretty much, I was able to, even with having my injury, to build a foundation with them in these last couple months and really make Las Vegas feel like home. So I'm really happy with the decision, with the PI, with the coaches that I have, Coach Casey from 10th Planet, Coach James Gifford, he's a wizard. He's a striking coach for a lot of the top UFC fighters out here. And then also Eddie Baracco from Extreme Couture. I also get working with Eric Nixon too at Extreme Couture. Sorry, I'm getting all around the little tab. But yeah, all of the guys there. So it feels great. I feel like even in this last year, because of COVID, a lot of fighters have moved here to Las Vegas. So we got a good thing going on right now. We actually have a good solid team of women there, high level women at Extreme Couture right now. So it's pretty neat.
And do you feel like it was beneficial you made all those moves like that? Because obviously, Team Alpha Male and AKA, and now obviously with Extreme Couture, 10 Planet, Las Vegas, everybody there. A lot of great training partners, like you were saying, and whatnot. Just, do you feel like the fact that you made all those moves has kind of helped you in the long run? Like there's been more coaches that have seen you fight. You've learned a lot of different things, had a lot of different training partners, and that all of that is just such a valuable experience that you carry with you wherever you go?
I mean, as much as that would sound like awesome, that I did get to, learn from all these great, high-level gyms, and I got to learn a little bit from everything. But Team Alpha Male, of course, was a great gym. I spent many years there, like 5 years plus, and was able to build a good foundation and consistency and to learn a lot. They have a lot to do with my grappling success and stuff like that, and especially all the guys there, because there are a lot of great wrestlers coming from there. Then there's, I went to AK. That was really short-lived. I was only there for probably like a month tops, and then COVID hit, and then I just left, and now I'm here. It's nice. It's cool to go visit other gyms and stuff like that, but I think it's also very important to build a foundation, and have consistency to get better. If you're constantly starting a bunch of different things, you're never going to get really good at those things. So as much as that sounds great, and I did learn a lot of things, I think it's important to, really have a consistency and build a foundation with a good, solid team.
All right, Cynthia, I want to end now here talking on a lighter note about a few different things. When we recorded this interview, it was actually on National Dog Day. I know you're a big dog mom. You have 2 beautiful dogs there. So how exactly did you celebrate National Dog Day with your puppies?
I did. I actually took them out hiking up to Mount Charleston. It's so hot here in Las Vegas, so I usually have to drive about 45 minutes to go up in the elevation in the mountains where it's like about 70. So I took them out there earlier today, let them run around, and took them to In-N-Out and got them some puppy patties. So I definitely spoil my dogs, whether it's National Dog Day or not.
Yeah, I was saying, what kind of dogs do you actually have? Are they huskies? They kind of look like they are, I know, with the fur and everything there, because you're talking about there going to Mount Charleston. The heat in Las Vegas is ridiculous for anybody, so I can only imagine like a dog that has fur like that wants to be, obviously in more of a cooler temperature environment. So just what's that like, having those dogs there in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. Whether they're huskies or not, it can get really hot here. So yeah, one of them's a Pomsky and the other one's an American Eskimo. A lot of fur, but they're spoiled. They're inside the apartment with like the AC on 24/7. Like, I think they're fine.
And finally, a question that I have to ask. I'm a huge Rugrats fan, of course, growing up in the early 90s like you did. I'm sure you're very familiar with the Rugrats. And a matter of fact, actually up here in my studio, you can kind of see back here, I have a Rugrats backpack with Reptar on it. So I have to ask you, being that your name is Cynthia, when you were growing up, did everybody in school kind of tease you a little bit and bust you with your name being Cynthia because that was the name of Angelica Pickle's doll?
I know. A lot. They would sing the songs, that Angelica would sing to Cynthia. And so, Cynthia, I don't even know how the song went. But anyways, no, a lot. And even like in 21 Jump Street, when he does the poem about Cynthia's, and they're like... I don't know if you ever remember that part, but either both of those parts, either Rugrats or 21 Jump Street.
I know. I figured they probably would bust you about that. That's why I had to ask, and I'll definitely look up that scene, though, from 21 Jump Street. I did see the movie a long time ago. It's not ringing a bell at the moment, but Cynthia, before you roll out, I just got one last thing. If you want to plug your social media management, sponsors, anybody you want to give a shout-out to, please feel free to do so at this time.
Man, I just want to give a shout-out to all of you guys tuning in and who support us. I appreciate you guys. And of course, to my management, Ruby Sports, to all my friends and family, I appreciate it. To all the fans, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for keeping the sport alive and making it as big as it is.
All right, Cynthia, thank you so much for the time. A reminder, everybody, Cynthia Calvillo takes on Jessica Andrade at UFC 266 on September the 25th. So make sure you guys check out that fight. That will be on pay-per-view. Also, please go to the bottom and click the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. This way you'll be able to see all of the great interviews that I produce. And also, keep going to MyMMANews and go to our social media accounts. Give us a like and a follow. And speaking of social media, if you guys want to give me a follow on Instagram or Twitter, I'm at John Eric Pauli. We'll see you later, everybody.